My amplified unit from the red team to the gold unit. Salute. BC coming at you with the Monday Night Raw review for 2/12/24. Full transparency. I'm going to get this out of the way right now. Full disclosure, the main event for Monday Night Raw is live right now as I record this upload, this review. So that is on live, and I have chosen not to view this main event. And it's twofold. Number one, there is some inclement weather coming in. Some bad weather, some storms, a winter storm. And because of this winter storm, all of my travel arrangements for tomorrow have been pushed up. Thus, I will not be able to cut this review early tomorrow morning like I usually like to do for Monday Night Raw's reviews. But I said it was twofold. That's half of it. The second part is this main event. Honest, amplified truth does nothing for BC. This main event, like every other week for Paul Levesque McMahon and his main events, are nonsensical. Much respect to Sami Zayn, much respect to Shinsuke Nakamura. This is not worth 3 hours of waiting on my primetime Monday night or any night. This is not worth it. And they always end with no cliffhanger, no suspense. Somebody wins, maybe it's a pinfall, maybe it's DQ, maybe it's countout, maybe it's two faces and they shake hands afterwards. The mutual respect era with Paul Levesque McMahon, and Michael Cole says, "Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. See you next week." And then you're dumbfounded. You don't see why so many people are not intrigued to show up next week. Why so many people don't feel the need to tune in next week. You're really that baffled? You gave them no reason. It was a mediocre 2.5 hours beforehand, and the main event left nothing to be desired going forward. You got WrestleMania in just over 7 weeks. Next week, you got Elimination Chamber. It's the road to Mania. And the shortcut to the chamber. There should be all this excitement. These shows, it's like the company, are just trying to get through them. It's all filler, right? They must love the chamber because they're just throwing one qualifying match after another, and that's supposed to make a good show. There's a lot on the line. There's qualifying matches. But don't worry if you lose. There's a second chance battle royal next week. Because, these mean something. 2.5 hours. There was a couple of good things on this show. I always say it should be a page per hour on a show. So 3 hours of Raw, you should have 3 pages of notes if you're good at what you do. If it's a 2-hour SmackDown, you should have 2 full pages. Guys, I have 1 1/4 page. 3-hour show. Now, granted, again, I'm missing the last 20 minutes. I am choosing. I can't blame this solely on a winter storm that's coming in. Although I do need every second imaginable is precious. So I do need every second, but I could have watched that main event. I just would have been a little bit more stretched for time. But I can't blame this on a winter storm. Paul Levesque McMahon did nothing to captivate my interest, especially for the ending of this show. I'm not going to stick around till 11 p.m. to watch what? Shinsuke lose to Sami? And then what? Shinsuke maybe takes out Sami afterwards? Maybe Drew comes out and takes out Sami, and another show ends with Drew McIntyre standing tall. Maybe Sami takes out Drew that tried to take him out. It's going to be something that is absolutely nonsensical. Nothing that you can't read about on a dirt sheet and go, glad I saved myself the time. Now, granted, absolutely, there could be something absolutely wild that goes on, right? Something wild happens at the end. Maybe Sting and Kenny Omega come out of nowhere, right? Tony Khan's at the top of the ramp, It's AEW. They've invaded WWE. Maybe not. Yeah, something really special could happen. But with Paul Levesque McMahon, I'm willing to take the gamble. I'm willing to bet he has nothing. This dude has admitted so many times he just cannot book the third hour. It's too hard. He has said this in many interviews. And I'm going to up that yet like I always do. He has trouble booking the second hour. He's good with 1 hour. He's good with 1 hour like he used to have with NXT Black and Gold when it was tucked on the network. That is his wheelhouse. And he had a lot of masterminds behind him. And you got to fly in on that company jet on tape day. Give the Papa H speech to all the talent so they really look at him as Papa H. But it's the William Regals, the brains behind it all, the Dusty Rhodes that created NXT, and the Dime who was footing the bill. His father-in-law, Vincent Kennedy. Papa H just got to play the Papa H role. And that's fine, man, for an hour. But we can't keep doing this. It is clear he is lost. So either you get him a lot of help, or if the USA Network for SmackDown when they get it in October, or Netflix, if they care about the WWE and Paul Levesque McMahon at all, they will make Monday Night Raw 2 hours, bare minimum. This show should be 1 hour if Paul Levesque McMahon is going to be fronting it. But at the bare minimum, you have to cut an hour. You have to, if you are Netflix. And I doubt that's going to happen. Because if you thought USA Network loved the third hour because of advertising revenue, Netflix is going to love it double because they're playing around with advertisers now, even though they're a streaming service. And number two, they're a streaming service. Everything rides on the amount of time that you are binging their product. That's why you see shows come out in straight full season binges. Stranger Things, you'll get half the season in a day. Used to be a whole season in one day. If you can get 3 hours of one show every single week, oh, that's binge material. They love that. Good luck chopping that third hour to 2. But if you care anything about Paul Levesque McMahon and the WWE actually succeeding, Monday Night Raw will get chopped to 2 hours because this 3 hours under Paul Levesque McMahon is intolerable. It's unacceptable. I can't even do it. Can't even do it. And then they set you up for a main event like Sami Zayn Shinsuke. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Triple threat next week. Drew, Sami, and Shinsuke. Meanwhile, none of them have anything to do with a main event at WrestleMania or even Elimination Chamber. Maybe they'll be in the No, Sami lost his match. This wasn't even a qualifier. This is just Shinsuke versus Sami. So it doesn't even have anything to do with elimination. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. Drew's been ending the show. Drew lost twice to Sethington recently. The finish of your show 7 weeks before WrestleMania has nothing to do with the Chamber or Mania. You know, there's so many people that they don't want to hear how it was back in the day, right, man? And it's not the Attitude Era, man. It's not the Golden Era anymore. This is the 2024 Mutual Respect Era, man. Wrestling business is booming, man. It's booming. BC didn't get the news. It's booming, I tell you. It's straight up booming. The wrestling business is booming. This is the best era since the Attitude Era, and even better is what they're saying, right? Because it's booming. Is it? Is it booming? Is this booming to you? Is this acceptable to you, these type of shows? 3 hours should feel fun, spontaneous, intriguing, man. When it is done after 3 hours, you should feel like you just watched a movie you need to go back and watch again. You have all these questions about a sequel the next week. That's how you have to write when you have 617 writers and Papa H is at the helm, taking all the responsibility. That's what he said Friday. He looked at the hard cam. There's only one man in charge of all of this. I wouldn't be bragging about that, HHH. Not again after tonight. This is booming. Wait till you hear, because I got the review. I got the notes. I did my due diligence. I was ready to put 3, 4, 5 pages of notes if need be. You know what I got? I got a page and a quarter. Wait till you hear about tonight's show and you tell me this is booming. Business is booming, BC. No, WWE making record revenue is not pro wrestling booming. That means WWE is making record revenue. Prices have been jacked up and a whole lot less people are willing to pay a whole lot more money. Especially after the last few years that we've had, they can't wait to get out. They'll spend whatever it takes. They'll max out the credit cards. They're bringing the family for a night out. Good for WWE and their record revenue. This is the opposite of booming. A WrestleMania season that is flatter than a New Day pancake. A show tonight that was drier than the Grand Canyon. And a WWE going into the Chamber and WrestleMania that doesn't have a pulse. That's not booming. That is DOA before we even get to Mania weekend. They will be dead on arrival. Because this road has been paved in potholes. And they couldn't even make it around the first pothole. They're already in a ditch. You want to hear what happened on Raw? 2/12/24, do ya? Well, you came to the right place because on this channel we ain't gonna bullshit. We're not gonna sugarcoat. We're not gonna conform. We're not gonna stroke people's feelings and egos. We're gonna tell the truth. The amplified honesty starts now. Because that's what we do. Because that's the only way we're gonna get to a better product. This show needs to go to 2 hours if Paul Levesque McMahon is going to remain in charge. This is not Black and Gold from back in the day, and I've already said he is not the sole handler of Black and Gold and the sole reason it was so good. So let's get off that horse too. But even if you believe he was, this ain't Black and Gold. This isn't many years ago, like you tell BC, man. It's the present day, man. Get with the times, dude. Okay, let's get with the times. Let's do that. Let's go over this show, right? Let's get with the times. Because business is booming, right? Pro wrestling is in a boom period. Pro wrestling is better than it's ever been. Oh, the wrestlers are saying it, the fans are saying it, but the numbers just don't add up. The intrigue on these shows isn't there. Let's go over it. You want to know how this thing started? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, and by the way, right? What time is it now? Because what I want to do, what we're going to do is we're going to see exactly how this show ended. See if I actually missed anything. How's that? That's what I'll do right now. How's that? All right, so I got those going up. So I'll see the results in a couple of minutes, guys. Let's go from the jump, though, as that's loading up. The show literally starts with a shot outside of the Kentucky Arena. And it's pouring rain. It's pouring out. The show starts off with just a shot outside the Kentucky Arena of pouring rain. It's damp, it's cold, it's miserable. It is a fitting start for the next 3 hours of our entertainment. It is a fitting start for Monday Night Raw, if you ask me. Damp, cold, miserable, pouring rain. What a shot. Who thought that was a good way to start this show? I know Kevin Dunn is gone. And they're trying to get their ball bearings. They're trying to see what works and what doesn't. And you could say, well, BC, they were setting up a special shot later because later in the night they had that same shot. Nikki Cross was creepily walking by. I don't know if you guys caught that. Nikki Cross creepily walked by that shot. No, you do not start the show And by the way, 0 pyro. But even if you're not going to have pyro or you're going to have double the pyro, you don't start the show with pouring rain outside of the arena unless you're going to have a beatdown outside. That would be fun, right? If BC's the head of creative and I know it's raining outside, I want to have some fun. I'm taking some of the boys, maybe the gals, and we going outside. We going to cut an awesome segment. We're going to take this outside. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to make the audience at home. We're going to captivate them. We're going to make them pay attention if they're about to go outside for a smoke. Maybe they're making some scrambled eggs up in the kitchen. Maybe they're talking to their significant other on the phone, not even paying attention. Maybe they're playing Yahtzee. They're going to look up at that screen, man. Whoa, what's going on outside the arena? Are they in the street? No, we just have pouring rain. And that's that. And then Michael Cole comes in with his voice saying, "Welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. We are 54 days away from WrestleMania, where Cody Rhodes will face Roman Reigns again." I'm not joking. That actually happened. Michael Cole just says, 54 days away, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Welcome everyone. And they show Cody Rhodes getting off the bus. And he's smiling, of course, right? He just got the taste slapped out of his mouth. He just got the yellow knocked off his teeth this past Thursday by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And he's smiling off the bus, not a care in the world, right? Hey, diddlesticks. Hey, diddlesticks. Hey, everybody, diddlesticks. Just smiling, looking left, looking right. Nobody there, right? There's nobody in his vicinity. He's just looking at everybody and everything, right? He's looking at the electrical equipment. He's looking at the pole. He's looking at the lighting fixtures, and he's just smiling at everything, as if this dude wakes up every morning, looks up to the sky, and the clouds are shitting fried dough and titties. Love Cody, man. I do. I say left and right. You guys know, if you follow this channel, how big of a Cody supporter I am, but the finish the story thing is so nauseating. The suits and the smiling all the time when the story doesn't quite fit that narrative, or doesn't fit the situation, I should say. It's becoming a bit much. You know, Brock Lesnar would snap this dude's arm an entire summer, and he was always smiling the next day. Don't worry, I'm gonna get him. But first I'm gonna look up high for fried dough and titties. Oh, here they come. Getting his arm broken entire summer, and he's smiling left and right. You know, Roman Reigns screws him out of the title, supposedly at 39, and the dude's smiling immediately. Like he's 10-second Tom. Hi, my name's Tom. Hi, my name's Tom. Hi, my name's Tom. Do you even remember what just happened? Dude goes out there, wins the Rumble, and then says, I don't want to take you on, Roman Reigns. And then he comes back out at the conference, and he's like, I changed my mind. This is BS. I do want you, Roman Reigns. And he's never explaining himself. Never. Last night, a nice promo with him and Seth. No explanation yet again. They never have Cody explain anything. They didn't have Brock explain why he attacked Cody a year ago after Mania. They didn't have Cody explain why he second-guessed himself taking on Roman, and then explain why he literally told Roman not at WrestleMania. No explanation. Then they didn't have last night, or tonight, this past show. They didn't have him explain why he changed his mind and wants Roman. And you say, in due time, BC. He might explain later, BC. At this point, you're going to have a pile-up. You're going to have 106 things he needs to explain. I hope you have 4 hours to do a promo. Uh-oh, don't tell Netflix that. They'll add a 4th hour to Raw. No explanations ever with this guy. It's not just Cody's fault. I understand it's the booking. Paul Levesque McMahon probably wants to make this dude look stupid for the sledgehammer to the throne in AEW. I'm holding to that. Because HHH, the way he books this dude, it's to make him look like an idiot. And it's just thrown in his face every time because he just keeps getting more and more fans. Of course, it's a lot of the families and the kids, right? You can hear the pitch in the crowd. But even people like BC are supporters of Cody. But he's really big with the kids and the families, and that's awesome. But the way that HHH books this dude, never to make any sense, never explaining why he's doing the stupid things he's doing. And then you add the suit and the smile. I mean, he gets off the bus. He just got smacked by The Rock. Live. Over 200 million views across the social media platforms that was witnessed. And this dude's just smiling at thin air. Always smiling. It's like John Cena, Beasley. Remember John Cena used to do that. Yeah, not even to this point of nauseum. So he gets off the bus as Michael Cole's like, 54 days, Cody and Roman. And Cody's like, hey. That was Raw. I spend time on this because I really want you guys, all the joking aside, and much love to Cody. You know, we have to have some fun with it. But I also would, and in all honesty, I would like to see a little less smile. Just a little. In times that need him to be a bit more serious. Like Rock just smacked you. Get off the bus and kind of be a little more pissed. Maybe, right? Just give off that, like, vibe. It's optics, right? It's like when a Yankee pitcher in the ninth inning gives up a 4-run homer, right? A grand slam, and they lose the game because of that damn pitch. You know, at least show that you're pissed off. Even if you're not, right? You just can't wait to get out of that. You hit the shower and get the fuck home. But at least act like you're pissed because you just gave away the game-winning grand slam, right? Act it. Just don't go like, what are you going to do? You know, don't even acknowledge the fans. Be like, smile in the dugout while you're gathering your belongings. No, act pissed. Just show the optics. But all kidding aside and all that, man, I spend time, a few minutes on the opening, which is this. Because it matters, man. How you start the show, man, you're setting the tone for the rest of the night. And that's a 3-hour night, 3-hour show. That's longer than a movie. That's longer than Broadway shows. 3 hours. And you're starting with a rainy arena outside. Just rain pouring as Michael Cole sounds like he just woke up from a nap. Michael Cole sounds like he woke up from a nap. Hello, everybody. In 54 days, Cody takes on Roman. And there's Cody getting off the bus. He's smiling. Hey, what do you want to talk about? What's everybody want to talk about? Titties and fried dough. Titties and fried dough, I tell you. Titties and fried dough. What do you want to talk about? Titties and fried dough? And that's it. That's the start of the show. So you're thinking, well, on one hand, it can only go up from there, right? But on the other hand, if you've watched this show the last 10 years at least, you're thinking, this could get a lot worse. So then we go right into it can get a lot worse, right? We went right into the 6-man schmaz. Imperium versus New Day and Jason Uso. So, if you guys caught my preview vid, I got it up 1 hour before Monday Night Raw. I put that upload up, and I would have loved to have gotten that out sooner to you guys. That was 1 hour before Raw. So, I know a lot of you guys don't even know that I put that out up on the channel. It's already got a few thousand on the view count, though, so I appreciate those of you that did catch it and watched that throughout. But I talked about how this is not how you book Jey Uso and Gunther, right? If you're going to do this at Mania or even Elimination Chamber, like, don't have them face each other yet. There's no reason to have Gunther and Jey Uso already locking it up in a 6-man tag or a tag team match or an 8-man tag. Keep them separated. Start a storyline. I had some fun in yesterday's upload, right? I said have Gunther chase down Jey Uso in a monster truck outside in the rainy conditions of Kentucky. And then later in the show, Jey Uso explodes the monster truck and Gunther somehow escaped. Now, obviously, I'm being a little wild there, right? Gunther in a monster truck. But my point is, have some fun. Have a storyline that we're interested in and we're actually going to talk about after the show is done. Did you see Gunther chase down Jey Uso in a monster truck? Dude, and then Jey fucking blew the monster truck up. You're talking about it, right? That's what you used to do with Stone Cold and everybody, right? Why do I bring up the Attitude Era a lot? Because it's a reference point. Literally everything that happened, you should be doing shreds of that in 2024 and beyond. That's why it was so magical. Because these are things that pro wrestling was founded upon. They just magnified it, right? They amplified it. They turned it up to 11. Well, shit, if this shows these days with just turning up to 5 or 6, we'd be in a better place. Have some fun outside of that ring. Stop with match after match after match. Promo, match after match. Promo, match after match after match. It's okay to go outside. Go deep into the locker. Go to the boiler room. Go up on the roof. Get creative. Be interesting. It's okay to do that. But no, this is WWE. This is what they do. Status quo. VKM, HHH. It doesn't matter. They're all one of the same. If we're going to do a Jey Uso versus Gunther match in the future, let's just throw them in the ring in a bunch of matches beforehand. And then when we get to the PLE, PPV, people will pay money to see it again. And if you're wondering, the word we're getting is it's not even for WrestleMania. In fact, it's not even for the Chamber. Backstage, Jason Uso was told he's going to face Gunther next week. Now, I don't know if Jackie Redmond said, or maybe it was Kathy Kelly. I don't know if she said it was non-title, and maybe that's how Jey would earn it, but I thought she said it was for the title. My point is, I wouldn't be so sure this is going to be for Mania, no matter what happens next week. And I said that from the jump. This sounds like they're playing around with the Elimination Chamber, and now they're facing each other next week. Whether it's for the title or not doesn't make a difference. They've already ruined Jey versus Gunther, if you're going to do this long term, because now they're just facing each other every week. And this goes along with what I've been hearing anyway. The company's not sold on giving it to Jason Uso. They're thinking about a Braun Breaker or bringing back somebody like Sheamus. We had a good discussion in yesterday's upload. What about Chad Gable? I know they already had their matches, but damn, is there a way where he can circle back and somehow do the deed? Because if not Breaker or Sheamus, Chad Gable's the only dude, man. WrestleMania is 7 weeks away. You're not calling anybody up from NXT because the crowd wouldn't know who the fuck they are anyway. They barely know Braun Breaker. So, I mean, these are the options you have. And again, I just don't think they want to give it to Jey Uso. And I'm not sold. As much as they're my favorite tag team, Jimmy and Jey, I'm not sold that Jey Uso, after all Gunther has done, Jey Uso's winning it? Just odd. You want to set up a match between them, keep them out of a 6-man. It's nonsensical. And that's what we saw. And guys, if you're wondering, wonder no more. Jey Uso pins Vinci for the W. So again, that's the start of the show, man. A rainy Kentucky arena. Cody Rhodes is smiling off his personal tour bus. Michael Cole woke up from his nap to welcome us. And we saw a 6-man schmaz where Jey beat Vinci. At this point, if you're like BC, you're wondering, what, man, is there any way that I can be spending my money? Probably a whole laundry list of things I can be doing. I love this stuff. I really do, man. Pro Wrestling, I love it. I really do. And I try every moment. As much as I try to entertain you guys, I know the platform, I know the gig, I know the spiel, right? And you guys want to be entertained. But I really use this time to drop as much factual truth as as imaginable. Because I really do want to try to help this industry, man. And I know I have immense knowledge of it. But can only do so much. I mean, to have a 3-hour show and have it start like this, the first half an hour is done and you have nothing worth mentioning. There's nothing worth talking about. And you're 1/6 done already. We get a good video package for Andrade. It's just filling, right? It's just passing the time. They don't know what they're doing with Andrade. So at least they're doing the video packages. Is it going to lead to something? Most likely not, right? They've done this for Bronson. They had some packages for Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell. How'd that work out for all of them? They just don't have a place. But he is Mr. Charlotte Flair. So maybe he'll get a little bit more of a rub. But if there's not that connection with the crowd, it won't matter anyway. Bobby Lashley versus Big Bronson Reed. This is an Elimination Chamber qualifier. Bronson has a whole new entrance presentation, theme song. The Tron is him as King Kong, and he's beating his chest amplified style. He's knocking down buildings. Badass. I'm like, if you're going to give a dude a push, that's the entrance. This was a really badass entrance presentation. I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. 5 minutes later, he's speared and pinned by Bob Lashley. So I'm like, they're going to make him like King Kong. And 5 minutes later, spear. Bronson's looking up at the lights, knocked out, bro. King Kong slayed just as fast as he was made. You can't make it up. If this was Vincent Kennedy booking, people would be dragging VKM, bro. Vincent Kennedy McMahon would be dragged. I bet you nobody's going to bat an eyelash on this. Nobody. Well, what can you do, man? It's Bob Lashley. At least the entrance was cool. Did you see the entrance? It was cool. Wow. I told you Triple H was going to book Bronson like a beast. He did, man. He put that big in front of his name, and then he made him King Kong. So when you lose, you're the king of losing. Yeah. Make him lose, doofus son-in-law. Hour 1 then ends with a pre-tape of Jackie Redmond interviewing Sami Zayn. Same exact setup as last week, and Redmond basically asked Sami, well, you talked a big game last week, Sami. I'm going to beat Drew. I'm going to go to the chamber. I'm going to be the champ, yada, yada. And you basically did none of that. Paraphrasing, but that's basically what Jackie Redmond told Sami. You talked a big game. You did none of it, bro. So Sami's just like, she says, where do you go from here after talking all that and doing none of it? And Sami Zayn's like, well, Jackie, I still believe in myself. Yada, yada. And then Shinsuke shows up on the Tron, as he's been doing to everybody. And yada, yada. He starts saying some type of promo with some music in the background. And that set up their main event match, which I am missing. And by the way, I have the results to that. I'll read it at the end. How's that? I got the results up of what I missed, and it's nothing. I know, but I'm going to hear, basically, you missed an incredible match, man. Oh, no. I missed a good wrestling match. I can see 1,800 great wrestling matches a week, most at the local bingo hall. I don't have to watch at 11 p.m. at night. Well, that's p.m., right? You don't have to say both. p.m. at night. You can just say p.m. BC. I don't have to watch great wrestling at 11 o'clock to feel like I've witnessed something spectacular. If the crowd was yelling, "This is awesome," I think I'll be just fine not viewing the match. I don't get my rocks off just seeing great wrestling matches. Move for move, sequence for sequence. That's not what I get my rocks off on for pro wrestling, man. I think that's the biggest disconnect. I'm not treating this like it's a real combat sport, and I need to find out who the real best is, and the real winner and the real loser. It's not why I ever started watching wrestling. It's not why I watch today. It's not what pro wrestling was founded upon, and if it ever goes that route, it's going to be even worse off than it is today. But we'll go over that result, because I have it. And judging by what I'm reading right now, I missed nothing. And it's basically exactly as I called it. So again, hour 1 ends. Nakamura is up on the Tron while Sami Zayn is in an empty arena doing the interview with Jackie Redmond. This would be really cool if we don't see Shinsuke do this with every one of his feuds the last 4 months. If you do the same thing over and over, I think it's going to be a little bit less impactful for whoever you're trying to speak to, Shinsuke. They might have to go a little bit different. This is one of those things Paul Levesque was so proud of himself over 4 months ago, and then so he just does it every week. And it's gotten like stale a long time ago, and Paul Levesque McMahon's the last one to know about it, right? He's like, they're loving this. Go and do it again to Sami. Hour number 2, Cody Rhodes comes out. Nice pop. Replays The Rock on Pat McAfee talking about the nuggets, right? For every 10 tweets, these Cody crybabies eat a nugget. For every 20 tweets, they take 2 nuggets, stick them up their candy ass. How about you just shut up, know your role, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking your bitch asses on. Hashtag bitch asses. Hashtag Cody crybabies. The whole promo. You guys, I pretty much memorized it now, man. It was so badass. It was Hollywood heel Rock who just shreds people verbally. And he would just rip the crowd like nobody else, man. He would shred them and they would lie in a pool of their own embarrassment. Always funny. But anyway, he replays that. And then what? And then he asks, so what am I supposed to do with the chicken nuggets, he says. I thought it was kind of funny, actually. So when he came back from the video package, he's like, so hold on. My question after all that is, what am I supposed to do with the chicken nuggets? And he asked Pat McAfee, who was interviewing The Rock. That was what the video was from. And Pat's on the commentary booth, so he's asking Pat, what do I... And Pat's like, I think you take them and you stick them... BC popped out. I thought it was funny. The crowd didn't really get it. The crowd was just like, ha ha. The ones that did get it. It was not as big of a pop as I think Cody was hoping for. They didn't get the joke. I thought it was pretty funny. He then says, Rock, you slapped me in the face publicly. So what that means is I'm going to have to hit you back. Does that mean you won't smile when you do it? I'll take it. Sethington Rollins then comes to the ring. Passionate, amplified. One of Seth's best promos he's ever cut. He offers to help Cody fend off Rock and Roman, and this makes sense because we're seeing that commercial that played before the Super Bowl and 3 times tonight. Rock and Roman walking up to Cody and Seth. It screams tag team, and I hope that's not the case. Guys, if you want to see it, that's your prerogative. Good for you. You probably will. For BC, this is so meaningless. The Rock has wrestled one time in the last, 12 years? Something like that? 11, 12 years? He has not wrestled in well over a decade. If this dude came back and one of his only matches is a nonsensical tag team match that accomplishes and does nothing. At this point, I still want the dream match for me, Roman and Rock at some point. I don't even know how you get to that now and have it matter. But at this point, Cody and Rock sounds fun. But a tag team match is so freaking... He said long game. So if he's got 3 matches in him and one of them's the tag team, then fine. I honestly wouldn't pay 50 cents to see that tag match. I wouldn't. I'll catch it. For you guys, if at nothing else, for no other reason, I'll catch it and I'll review it. But I wouldn't pay 50 cents to see the Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth in a tag match. What is that? What is a tag match going to do? Doesn't solve anything, doesn't do anything. Odd, man. And they're building WrestleMania up with those 4 coming together. It's just... I'm old school, man. You got a champion, you get a number 1 contender, and you have a multi-month storyline feud. And you make it so epic, we have to fork over 30, 40, 50 bucks. That's how much PPVs were back in the day. And you'd find a way. You get my parents didn't have a lot of money. I'd find a way, though. We had to get those pay-per-views. And I ended up working at a very young age to make sure that I was paying my share for those pay-per-views. You had to catch them. And it wasn't just to see great matches, man, right? That's what they say today. Rock and Roman wouldn't have been a great match anyway. Rock would have been gassed after 6 seconds, BC. He would have been gassed. You don't understand, BC. It wouldn't have been a good match, man. It wouldn't have been a good match. Look at the Rock. He's blown up, man. He's blown up like Michelin Man. Like a marshmallow man, BC. Who cares? What are you talking about? I don't need to see him do a Hurricanrana plancha splash from the top rope. Relax. Some punches, some kicks, a clothesline, some body slams. It's about your presentation, your mannerisms, your expressions, how you're selling everything, how you're making your audience feel with every punch, every kick, every body slam, every clothesline, everything you do. That's what this is about. It's a lost art. Today's wrestler and today's fan thinks that everybody has to do more to get more. No, it's when you do less, you're going to get it all. Wild to me. Absolutely wild. But this is one of those things where Seth says, I'll be in your corner, man. You know, you ain't going to fight this alone. And by the end of the night, looks like they'll even have Sami in their corner. So they're going to have their little posse. This could go to like Survivor Series at the end of the year. I know it's only February and we just had War Games, but you could literally take this all the way to War Games, right? Oh my goodness. You talk about a long game. It only works if it's being done properly. Otherwise, this would be the longest year of all time. Especially with HHH. But for Sethington, what a promo. Very good promo. One of the best. Passionate, didn't stutter or botch any word. Not even a word. This dude was on, seemed very believable, realistic, and really pumping up Cody to finish this story like everybody else. And then Liv Morgan defeated Zoey Stark via Oblivion pinfall and advances in the Elimination Chamber for the ladies. Winner of that obviously goes to take on Rhea Ripley. We believe that to be Becky, but I'm still hearing that Liv Morgan somehow will be inserted into this match, which I'm okay with, by the way. And I don't even like schmaz matches, but Liv Morgan just belongs in this. I don't know what it is, and she's got that history with Rhea, obviously. And Liv Morgan is just so good, and she just gets better and better. Her confidence is top notch. She rocked it out in there against Zoey. Oblivion. Zoey's looking up at the lights, and Liv is going to the chamber. McDonutts then pins R-Truth post-match. There's a beating on Truth by all of Judgment Day minus Amami. It was the perfect moment for a huge run-in pop, right? The crowd was really into this beatdown because they were really behind Truth. So I was hoping, I'm like, who's on the roster right now? Who can they have? Because I want a big pop, you know? And this could have set up something big for the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio was just talking in an interview. He truly has nothing for Mania yet. They have not ran by any ideas. That's how far behind Paul Levesque McMahon is. LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Dom Dom. What do they all have in common with their interviews? Sincerely, they're saying they honestly don't know what they're doing for Mania. Not like they would let all of their cards out, but they're literally saying like, no, we are told nothing, bro. I mean, they're breaking character a little bit. They're pulling back the curtain. That's how sincere they are. Like, they don't know. The company has not given them a direction yet. Not even like a fun answer. Oh, wait and see. Just wait and see. Right? You know, you could see LA Knight doing something like, no, they're like, we don't know. I have no idea. Shows you how far behind HHH is. But I'm waiting for somebody to help Truth, right? This could ignite something big. A big pop. And the DIY comes out. And the crowd's like, DY who? DYI. DY. DIY. YI. Not YI. No, DIY. I'm saying you said YI. DIY. Right, you can see people are in the audience. They're trying to tell who they're with. No, that's remember Gargano? He's from NXT. No, not the Munchkins from Wizard of Oz. NXT. I like DIY. Yeah, big on Johnny Gargano. Tommaso's great. I call them the micro machines. I do. There's just not a connection to the main roster crowd. In HHH, he doesn't even try, it looks like. He's got to know this is not working right now, man. Are you just trying to get the black and gold crowd to cheer for them? Maybe you're succeeding there, but this isn't it, man. That was a big pop moment. DIY comes out with steel chairs. Everyone's like, yeah. And that's hour number 2 complete. I'm on a roll, brother. I'm on a roll right now. Becky Lynch starts hour number 3 with a great promo. How this is everything to her, talking about how, she's missed birthdays and weddings, even her father's funeral. She's missed it all. And she has to go home and tell her daughter, who's only 3 years old, that she, why she has a busted nose and why she can't pick her up because her arm is in a sling or separated her shoulder, why her dad, Seth, is fighting Maui, which I laughed at. Of course, The Rock. That was pretty funny. But she was very sincere in talking about how, this is everything to her, and that's why she has to beat Rhea Ripley. And she looks at the crowd. She says, I know a lot of you like Mommy. I know, it's all right. But Mommy's going to have to find out she's no match for the man. The man versus the daddy versus the mommy. How do you like that? So this is a really... a little power couple stroking over here, man. Seth and Becky had one big thing in common tonight. They both had really good promos. Nia Jax then hits the ring. Really slowly hits the ring. It's Nia. An instant "you suck" chant. Not like a Kurt Angle, too, where it was like fun, like, "You suck. You suck." That was fun, by the way. That was his best entrance song. But this was just a, "You suck. You suck." This was just letting her know, just in case you forgot, Nia. This was pretty funny, man. Nia was not, like, amused by it at all. She just kept going with her promo. Mommy hits the ring. She tries to take out Nia, but Jax drops her with a right hand. Becky then hits a top rope drop kick, and then Rhea follows that up with a big boot to send Jax into retreat mode. So in the end, Rhea and Becky were kind of standing tall together, which kind of signifies Mommy's full face turn, while simultaneously still with one of the biggest heel factions in WWE, the Judgment Day. That's why they kind of had her away from Judgment Day I keep saying last night for you guys by the time you get this review, but tonight. They separated her for the most part. They were kind of doing their own thing, and that's because Mommy, she's got the fans behind her. They really want to start to insert her as a face, but they know Becky's a face, so they're going to let them rub off of one another. That sounds horrible. You get what I'm saying, though, right? They're going to have them in there together against one common enemy, Nia Jax. I don't know how that's going to help their match, though. Splitting your audience. HHH does it too many times. Face versus face, split your audience. Nobody wins in the long run. Does it too many times, man. LA Knight defeats Ivar via BFT pinfall, advances to the Elimination Chamber. It was good to see LA Knight on Monday Night Raw. Gave the crowd some much needed life. Takes out Ivar. Pretty decent match, too. And LA Knight wins. Not much to say. I mean, that's what's in the notes. LA Knight defeats Ivar via BFT pinfall, advances to Elimination Chamber. End of notes. Literally, that's all I have. And then I had Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke, and that's where the notes ended. I literally just said, I'm recording now. I'm not even going to wait. And in case you guys are wondering, right? So I did not see it. I got the results. And this is what it says right now. This is from, I'm reading these results from, I believe this is Bleacher Report, guys. So this is, I don't have the gentleman or lady who is writing this, but it's from Bleacher Report. And they say how this match went down. Toward the finish, Zayn fought his way back into the match on more than one occasion, showing the trademark gustiness that has helped make him one of the beloved superstars of his generation. Late in the match, an appearance by Drew McIntyre, called it, allows Nakamura to capitalize on the distraction, deliver Kinshasa to the back of Zayn's dome piece for the W. Okay, so I thought they might give Zayn a consolation W. They actually give Shinsuke a much-needed W. That match may have not replicated the 2016 NXT Classic between the competitors, but it was still a quality main event match. So that's basically a nice way to say, it wasn't the best we've seen. It was a match. The post-match beatdown by the heels, meaning Drew and Shinsuke, and then the arrival of Cody Rhodes to even the odds as backup for Zayn was a nice touch and added heat to the American Nightmare showdown with McIntyre on next week's show. So this Bleacher Report is very generous, right? They're making it all sound nice and fluffy, like, this is amazing television. And maybe it is for you guys. A lot of you guys. Some of you guys. Maybe it is, man. Maybe this is all you need. That's awesome, man. This isn't about, like, having high expectations anymore. We're way beyond that. This is just about having standards. My standards for a pro wrestling 3-hour show are way better than this, man. This is not why you would stick around 3 hours to watch Sami versus Shinsuke and have it end once again with Drew McIntyre. The biggest storyline for Monday Night Raw is Drew versus Cody to be settled next week. They're not facing at the Chamber. They have nothing to do at WrestleMania with one another. It's just next week on Raw. Jey Uso and Gunther. just for next week on Raw. Cody versus Drew just for next week on Raw. It is sad when you're 7 weeks before WrestleMania and you got a pay-per-view next weekend. It's sad when your show ends with nothing to do with any of it. And you wonder why a lot of people like BC are saying this doesn't even feel like WrestleMania season. Feels like no effort's being put into any of this. At this point, we just want to get off this damn road. Let's start the road to SummerSlam. That's what I'm saying, man. Maybe that'll be better. So Nakamura defeats Zayn is the result. That's it. And by the way, Jey Uso versus Gunther is for the IC Championship next week. I can confirm that now. There was a little bit of doubt earlier in that section of this review. I didn't know if it was non-title, maybe that. Nope, they're going to do it next week. So I was saying, I told you guys, they were contemplating not having that at Mania. I told you, I was the first person to break that news to you. What I was hearing is that is not only not set, they're actually conflicted with it. There's a lot of doubt on if they should even go that route, so they're going to push it to the chamber. And then you hear, no, they're not even doing that, man. They're just going to do it next week. You know, if this was just a normal Monday Night Raw, I'd still have an issue with it. But this is Road to WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. I don't understand how anybody would look at this and go, I didn't think it was a bad show, man. What an awesome Raw. Again, that's cool. Prerogative, right? Eye of the beholder. Standards. It's not even expectations, just standards. You know what I mean? If this is the standard you've set for pro wrestling, you're going to be happy every week. Good for you, man. That's like catching a Hail Mary every single Monday, every Friday. Awesome for you. Maybe even Wednesdays on Dynamite. Awesome. Thursdays for TNA. Is that still Thursdays? Tuesdays, NXT. Hail Mary completion. Every single night, you're happy. Awesome. Man, if you're like BC and you have higher standards, you demand. You demand more from these companies and these shows. This is so far off. There's no words for how far off they are. We just hope they can get back on that road. So that, is there a way to avoid some of the potholes? Just some of them. I mean, this WWE vehicle is hitting every single bump and pothole and divot and ditch and wall along the ride to Mania. That's what I got for you guys, man. I started this 20 some odd minutes before the show even got over. And the show's been off the air for nearly an hour now. So that goes to show you, man. That goes to show you. Even though I only had a page and a quarter of notes, I still had a lot to say. This WrestleMania season is currently one of the worst I've ever seen. You know what's funny too, guys? Becky Lynch actually said in her promo, she's like, we're on the road to WrestleMania, and it's wild at times, chaotic at times, and yes, very confusing at times. And I was like, dude, thank you. Thank you for just being honest. Becky Lynch was just like, this has been one of the most confusing WrestleMania seasons. When the talent is telling you they're confused. When the talent is telling you they don't know what they're doing for Mania. They haven't even been told of anything. And we're 7 weeks before. And when the fans, because it's many more than just BC, are telling you this doesn't feel like Mania season, you're doing a lot of things wrong. This ain't it, man. And then you had a lot of fans that started crying, bitching, and moaning about one of the main events, and then they had to really get lost. And now the whole thing's off the road. It's not even the road to WrestleMania. They're like trying to make a trail, like somewhere deep into the forest or something. They're trying to get back on the road, but they're trying to make a trail, but there's too many damn trees and. Anyway, till next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we're out. BC saying check you. Peace! We're going to take on a winter storm. It's got nothing on the amplified, man.